It's the little things when you're looking forward to a patch. So that's what we're going to talk about in this issue of the Carbuncle Chronicle. Hello, adventurers, and welcome to the Carbuncle Chronicle, your podcast for everything awesome in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Basil, and I play a Lalafell summoner named 4K Rydiske on Leviathan.
I'm Anna. I play a Lalafell dancer on Leviathan, named Cormia Rydiske.
That is us, and we thought it's just the two of us this time. And we're not going to do a full-on patch notes reading, because for one thing, it's preliminary, and we're doing it a little bit early so we can get this edited and out, tomorrow, as it'll be 24-hour maintenance before we get patch 7.2. But I kind of want to look at the little things, the things you may not really think about too much, things that don't really get the stuff that people talk about.
It's the things that surprise us.
Yeah.
The things that we don't expect from the patch notes.
Right. For example, the first one I noticed going through the patch notes is in housing, SSAO can now be disabled for indoor furnishings, which the settings apply for everyone who enters the estate, not just the estate owner. And what this means is that, so SSAO lighting is how it handles shadows and how it the shadows will interact with the environment. And so this is clearly for those who are trying to create a certain scene, certain vibes in their housing. This gives them just a little bit more control of how you walk in and you experience it, how you see it.
Yeah, that's a good change, I guess. Addition, change.
I wonder if it's also somewhat encouraged by the housing things that happen because of the lighting changes that occurred with the graphics update.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I know that some lighting things were broken when the patch update or when the 7.0 happened, and they didn't expect certain things to happen that they did. And what was happening in housing, because there are so many different light sources. There are so many different ways that furnishings can interact because you're making it yourself. And it's not all predetermined by the game developers. It's the people playing the games, what they're doing. And so they can't have a fine-tooth comb to make everything perfect like they can everywhere else in the world.
And I like how, looking at the picture, like the corner of the two partitions they have on here, they look way more seamless than they do in the older one because of all the shadow.
Right, and that's because of the shadows that happen in the gaps and the crevices of things. When it's in the game itself, they're crafting everything with that in mind, and so it looks better because you want those crevices filled in a shadow and stuff, but you may not want it in the house. That may not be the mood or the vibe or the setting or whatever you're trying to portray. That may not be what you want, and the fact that they're giving you this chance to set it was, again, it's a little thing, but it's nice to see.
One thing I noticed, that as someone who plays New Game Plus fairly frequently, just because I'm weird and I do, they added that you can now perform repairs and access the weather forecast while playing New Game Plus. Not being able to repair, right now not being able to check your retainer, it's been very odd to me, the little things that you can't do during New Game Plus. So I like that they've at least started that process of changing the little things like that. So it is nice that now you can repair while you're going through the game again.
No, I totally missed that. I just ran right over that one looking for something to talk about, and I hadn't noticed it. So again, that is just one of those things where that is something to look at. So for me, the next thing that I noticed was under miscellaneous, they're adding a new category, field operations, in the challenge log, because we know that Eureka has a challenge log. That's how you level there now. When we first were playing in Eureka, there was no challenge log. That was something they included later on to incentivize people to actually fight things in Eureka, not just trying to fight NMs as they would pop up. So that one tells me that I bet there's going to be a challenge log in Occult Crescent, because now they're making it so that's where you get Eureka's challenge log, add probably other field operations challenge logs in there.
Yeah, I assumed that was going to be a thing since they added that in with Baja and Eureka and everything. One thing I noticed, well, this is something that I guess I don't particularly notice this just because the 3 houses I go into, someone's in them regularly, but you will now get a warning message when you go into the garden of an estate scheduled for auto demolition. So I guess that's like if it says in case of free company, it's all to all free company members, but it's a good thing, like, if you happen to go, if you're using your friend's garden because they're not playing right now, it's a good thing. So that pops up and you can go, oh, hey, by the way, you might want to log in real quick and save your house.
Or it might be a case of someone, say you were using your own garden in your own personal home, and because you're just using the garden.
No, yeah, you haven't actually gone into your house.
Yeah, you just use a summoning bell that's like right outside your house, and you're using like your chocobo stable or your garden, and you don't go into your house because you aren't using it for that.
That's actually happened to me once. I did get it. I think I did get an email about auto demolition. I was like, I'm always on though, but I just didn't go into my house. So yeah, that is a good thing.
I don't know if, say, friends, like I don't know if I'll get the message for your house, because it says a message will be displayed to private estate owners, and in case of free company estates, all members of the free company.
Right, but I wonder.
So it doesn't say anyone.
But I wonder if you're sharing, like how I share with you, like you're on my list of 3 people. I wonder if, and it's not very clear, but I wonder. That's what I'm saying is like,
okay,
because I think you can only use the garden if you're on that estate. So maybe if you're on someone's house that has, you have access. Maybe that, I feel like that's where maybe that comes in handy. And I don't know for sure. It's not incredibly clear, but I assume like maybe in the thing with the vein of like the FC members, like it is people that can actively do things in the house get that message.
Well, my thought was this is using the same rules of who can stop auto demolition happening by entering the house, which is the owner of the private house and anyone in the free company for a free company house.
Okay. So yeah, so maybe if you are in a shared estate, maybe it doesn't work that way. One thing I look forward to a lot with these patch notes is seeing the new furnishing items. And that's just something I look forward to. I can't tell what one of these is. It just looks like a popcorn tin lid in the floor. But I like that we're getting the job stones that we were missing, including Blue Mage. I like, I see a little Fantasia bottle on the alcohol cabinet, which that cabinet is going to be great for my Bard Lounge. I love the fountain, the new gate, all the hedging things. Like there's some really good items coming in. The caution tape door cracks me up. We can see the new trophy for the new trial. So yeah, like I always enjoy seeing the items that they've added, and they always say that sometimes they're furnishing design contest winners, sometimes they're not. It's just submissions they had. But yeah, I always look forward to seeing what we're getting for the housing.
One thing I am looking forward to is seeing what prizes are going to be newly available to buy with MGP.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some cards.
Yeah, my thought is cards. I wonder maybe some housing items.
But who knows?
Yeah.
There could be one of the mounts could be it. They could be some of the new faceware. I know they showed off like the more piratey stuff.
Yeah, that's possible. The Wonders Tales, we're getting Underkeep and Juno added to it, which is great because I still like doing Juno. I'm not great at doing it once a week, but it would be nice if that was in my book and I would get some other credit.
And you mentioned Juno. I know this is skipping ahead, but they're changing how much you can get of the actual items you turn in to get the music.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because I'm one that I didn't want to buy any of the music till I had 11 of the tattered things, which I think I'm up to like 5 right now. But yeah, that is great to add more of those to the bosses, because if you remember, in Evilise, before the last boss, they would start dropping the cards. And I don't remember if that was always or if that was added later, but I think that's a great idea of adding more of those and more chances to that.
What they're doing specifically is what they're saying is Tatter Sheet music found in the additional treasure chest coffer that appears at the end of the Alliance raid can now be found in the final treasure coffer designated to each party, as well as tattered sheet music can now be found in each party's treasure coffer that appears after each boss. So not only is it now all party focused, you'll be getting them at the end of each boss, not just the last boss.
Yeah, and that's so you're going up against 7 other people instead of 23 other people, which is they usually do that. They didn't mention doing the same thing for the card or the minion, but I know they tend to do that eventually. I don't know if that's what they're doing yet for that, but I'm glad they're doing that with the music at least. So yeah, so at least more people have a shot at it. So and that'll get my incentive to keep. I need to keep running it more so I can get those. Just the collector in me music, not that I am nostalgia for 11 or anything. No, I've enjoyed the music I've heard, so I'm excited to get those.
It's okay. It's weird that I am nostalgic for the music for 11 that I am, because I am nostalgic, and it's not all 11 tracks, but I've listened to 11 music off and on throughout the years, despite not playing it, but like downloading and acquiring soundtracks and just listening to like Spotify. It would throw in 11 tracks here and there over the years. And so
Yeah, and I played through them on Theatrhythm.
and for me, the areas out of, it's not Gridania, it's the Gridania equivalent that I'm now Windurst. You always want to call it Windhurst, but it's Windurst. The areas outside that, in the for me, because I played that for so long, for those few months back in the early 2000s, I can just hear that music. And even though I did not have the best of times when I was playing by myself, it still hits those, because it was, 2 decades ago. It's been long enough that it hits the nostalgia button on me. It pushes it real good for me. So there is just some music in 11 that really still gets me.
Yep. And then next thing on here is, we have the new Unreal, which is going to be fun. And then they did show us the new mount we're getting. So I'm very glad I saved my leaves and didn't spend them, so I can get this weird looking Anteater thing. So that'll be fun. We have new emotes. These we didn't see. It's I assume we're gonna get hit in the head with something at some point during this patch. So that's fun. And then after this, speaking of emotes, this is the one thing I saw first that really surprised me, is they're finally adding Tome Scroll and Study to the special tab of the emote window, and it's looping versions of like scrolling on your tombstone and reading, which I actually made a macro on one of my alts that actually will have her read for a while, and it's just reusing the emote ever how much I can in a macro. And so I don't need that anymore, because now and that's one of those that people have been asking for this for a long time. So I'm glad that they finally got around to that.
Yeah, the Juno music changes and the addition of Tomb Scroll and Study were the two things that actually inspired this whole idea to do a little almost mini podcast, because we thought those were super neat and we wanted to talk about them, because we could talk about other things, the patch notes, whatever, but those are things you just don't think about.
Yep. And so yeah, that was a great change. And speaking of great changes, this is something that was mentioned in the live letter, but the fact that actions can now be queued for execution, which food, sprint, and pots, like that's going to be a godsend for raiding. Like, because I can't tell you how many times like I've had to hit my pot 3 or 4 times. I will spam sprint until it goes off. Like these are things that that will help so much for the raiders, especially.
Not even just raiders who are doing savages, but even things like, for example, Juno or extremes, or even for just regular old battles. That is just useful. And for me, I know that while it's not coming until May for the Occult Crescent, I know that I'm going to be in the Occult Crescent a lot. And that's going to be really useful to do stuff in there, especially once we get into the Fork Tower and suddenly I want a pot in there to make sure that that stuff dies, because it sounds like it's going to be potentially Baldessian Arsenal in its unforgiveness.
Yeah. Yep. That's going to be fun. Let's.
For me, I don't know what it is for you, but for me, the next big thing that stood out to me is after beginning of a boss counter for any dungeon included prior to patch 7.0, the shortcut warp will take players to the boss area's entrance.
Yes, I was so happy to see that, because I enjoy that. I enjoy, like, when you don't have to do the walk of shame, when you screw up. So I'm glad that they're implementing that. That was a nice change for this expansion. So yeah, that will be nice. You can now buy the mounts for Valagarmonda and Zoraja. So I know some people that already that are ready to go for those purchases. I am not there yet. I get distracted easily and do other things. That's good that people can finally buy those that they've been farming.
Yeah.
Now get Echo in Sphyn's Burden. I have a friend who's still trying to get a clear on that just because Party Finder's been terrible. So hopefully they will have better luck after the patch getting in there and getting a clear. I'm curious how fast people can get her down once with Echo.
Yeah. I did find it funny that the Duty Alliance experience from the bonus experience you get from Duty Alliance, everything is getting increased except for Aglaya, Euphrosyne, and Thalia are going to be like decreased.
Because that was very much exploited during leveling. We found from 90 to probably 97. It was the fastest way to level was to go through one of the. I think Aglaya was the one that people were just spamming. So yeah, I feel bad for people that were using it that way, but yeah.
Oh, I see. The bonus experience points for doing Duty Roulette Alliance raids is increasing, but the experience points you would just get for just defeating bosses in Aglaya, Euphrosyne, and Thalia are being decreased.
Yeah, because they were a little ridiculous. I'm curious to see what the position of the Dim and Materia 2 items are for Cloud of Darkness. I'm curious to see what that change is exactly. I don't think it's going to benefit me much at all until I can finally get some more clears in there. Weekly restrictions on Fru is taken off. So if you want to go farm that to your heart's content, be my guest.
Just if you're our friend Elo, don't throw anything away.
Oh, yes. Please do not throw away your weapon if you get it. Yeah. That was not Fru, but yeah, it was he threw away his weapon by accident after clearing DSR. Alright, so we have mathematics. We knew all these changes were coming with poetics and whatnot. Poetics will never die. Sadly, we are back down to 2 dungeons for the expert roulette. That's always the sad part of the expansion. Like, I really wish they would keep 3. Though I can understand, I guess, because at this point I would say keep 4 and keep Tinder Valley, Strayboro, Deadwalk, and the Yui Uwata Field Station. And then just add the Underkeep, and then in the next patch, you can get rid of the 290, or the 2 from the end of the expansion. Keep Yui Uwata, the Underkeep, and then whatever the new one is. But, yeah.
Well, I do kind of wish, in my heart of hearts, I do wish we would get 2 dungeons per major patch again, and not just the 1. I know why we don't.
Yeah.
But I wish that we still would. And that is entirely selfish on my part.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm glad, again, Juno's getting added to the Alliance raid. The new trial's getting added to the trial roulette. Cruiserweight is now getting added to normal raid roulette.
Yeah, most of these are just the standard, we're replacing
the
importance of heliometry. That's now the not so important one, and the real important one is now going to be mathematics. So everything that was heliometry is now going to be mathematics, and what was the thing that we had before heliometry will now be aesthetics. And instead of aesthetics, now it'll just be heliometry.
Yep. Sunken Temple of Corn is all the bosses have been adjusted. I am very curious. As much as I don't want to run that dungeon because I get the dungeon all the time, I'm curious to see how the do support changes it. Because with the having to kill the heads on the pedestals and the puzzle with what you pick up, I'm curious to see how that's changed, how that's adjusted. With the first boss. You have to stand on the pads to cleanse your doom. So that I'm very curious to see if that's the same or what changes have been made.
I am pretty positive. And note to self, reminder to self that we're planning a new episode of Back in My Day playing Final Fantasy 14 10 years ago with Paul and Chili, Move Around. We covered ARR, and so I'm pretty sure we talked about the Sunken Temple of Karn in that one, and probably talked about cleansing Doom on pads. I'm pretty sure we talked about there. So if you want to hear us talk about it back then, or should we even did a thing about dungeons back in the day? The AR dungeons, I bet we talked about it then too. So I am curious as to how it's going to work now.
Yeah. And then if you haven't finished your PvP series by now, it's gone. So we're starting the new series with a very Garlemald-ish looking or Garlean looking spider mount thing, which looks neat. I'm gonna try to not wait till the last day for that one, like I did. Totally didn't do today.
That's fine. That's what happens is the old thing goes away. We get the new set because we're getting Series 8, which is not the season, which the new season will also start, but within each season you get 2 series, or you get a series.
In each series you get 2 seasons.
Right.
So
yes,
this series will go up until 7.4.
Right. That's what I meant. Yes. So you have plenty of time to go through the newest battle pass that you don't actually have to pay for because it's just part of playing the game.
And those rewards are always great. Like I honestly, they mentioned opening up older rewards. So I'm really hoping, we'll get to see something like, get to see that with these. I think I'm only missing one outfit, but yeah.
PvP specific stuff.
Yeah, if you're into ranked, you're gonna have to go to Crystal if you're in North America to get that. Secura's back. I didn't miss it, but I'm going to, it's going to be one of the front lines, so I'm excited to try it out, see how it's changed. I'm glad to know that, we have the little pad that takes you immediately to the middle, because that was always the annoying thing is everybody, you'll get a message in chat saying, all right, mid soon, head to mid, and this time you just run to the pad that you're closest to, so that'd be nice.
Unless there's people blocking your way to the path, and suddenly there's new choke points where there wasn't choke points before. I'm enjoying. I missed the Cart No Flats. I missed that particular map. I liked the look of it, so I'm enjoying the chance to go back into it. I kind of forgot all about it until now, but now that it's back, so I'll give it a shot. I'll do that again. Why not?
They showed us front and back of the gear, the 9 gear that is tomes. That'll be good. With Timu Zidane as Mr. Happy's chat called him. I just can't help but look at the healer, not the healer, but the caster outfit, and think Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Like that's all I think about when I see that. The crafting stuff looks good.
I
Go ahead.
like the look of the crafted stuff. I like
Yeah,
the look of that a lot.
the
I
afterglow a little
normally
odd, but
No, that's fine. That's what the figmental weapons are there to do, whatever. If you need a new weapon, those are still the best. But I like the look of them. I think it's got a really good Terali look to them.
mhm.
I'm like, yeah, Anna, when you can get to my gear, you can. No, I'll be honest. I'm kind of like, all right, day one, Anna,
Well, it's gonna be
let's
more like
go. I got
day weekend for that.
let's do this. I want my cool new caster outfit so I can do the patch in it. Let's go.
Oh well, no, that ain't happening. You're gonna be waiting to
I'll
do
give
patch
you
until
as
the
much
weekend.
tombstones as I got. Let's go.
Uh, so a lot of items are unlocking 2 die channels. That it looks like a lot of Baja and Eureka gear, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
Yeah.
we'll see how all that changes.
We're also getting new dyes, new colors.
Yeah, which they have not announced yet. So I'm curious to see how that. They did mention the red. There's a couple of hats that can now be equipped regardless of gender, which is the black feathered flat hat and the red feathered flat hat. Were those Valentine outfit like head pieces? Maybe
He
I
might
could
have
not
been,
remember.
but potentially more importantly, as far as those two hats goes, the fact that it looks like all the headpieces they've shown off for the tombstone and the new craft recipes can all be worn by even Rothgar and Vieira, which is already amazing because usually for things like helmets and hats and stuff,
I have the unpopular opinion of you know what you're doing when you pick the race. Don't complain about hats. Yes, but like I've also said before, when they make new gear, they should make it to where everybody can wear it. So you are correct. I'm glad that they can wear it with all the new stuff. So
yeah, I'm glad they're taking the time to really make sure that this new stuff. Would I like them to also go back and make older stuff also work? Yes, of course I do. But I also believe in celebrating the wins, and this is a win. This is a big win for Rothgar and Vieira players, and I hope that players of those races will go out into the ether of the internets and celebrate it. Don't go, these are, but what about all these other ones? No. Celebrate the ones you got. Show off the ones you've got. Give them the positive reinforcement to make them go, oh man, they really like this. We should keep doing it. And then maybe we should also go back and do the other ones. Like give them, they're giving you the carrots. Eat your carrots and talk about how much you like your carrots. That's their carrot. That's their carrot to make them go, oh, we should make more carrots.
also I was correct. The black feathered flat hat and the red feathered flat hat were Valentino's in 2016. Because I'm looking, I do have the black feathered flat hat, but I cannot wear it because I am female.
Oh, okay, then.
That's interesting. I also had forgotten that you could see what event things came from. I like that. They are making an addition to the glamour gesture when creating an outfit glamour, the location of which in which each individual gear piece was previously stored is now displayed in the log window. The following marks can now display on stored item icons. So
It's showing you.
I was actually looking for something like this today, so it's ironic that I forgot that this was coming. So if an item can be part of an outfit, it has one icon, and if it is part of an outfit, it has a different icon. That's good. Like I said, I was looking through my glamour chest today, and I was like, have I put everything into outfits? So that's going to be nice come Tuesday.
Yeah, I remember when this thing first happened, I just went and bought on the market board an extra stacks of glamour prisms. And I just started yanking everything out and then seeing what I could actually plug back in as outfits.
Mm-hmm.
So having just an easy easy just glance and go, oh, there it is. Oh, that. Oh, okay. That is very, very nice.
Yep.
Also including things to be filtered as well. That's nice where you can now just filter it so you can just see which ones that you are for that you're looking for. These are just good quality of life things you wouldn't maybe think about.
Yep. And there's a couple others. They're adjusting some attributes to exquisite, viper, and picto weapons. Here I like this. For certain it says pugilist arms. There's going to be a note that now says that the weapon appearance may take precedence over hand gear. I like that note because there's sometimes I like certain weapons, but I like the hand. I like that they're acknowledging that.
Yeah, I do think it is interesting that they are changing these stats for these Viper and Picto weapons. You don't usually see that stuff get adjustments like you would with just base potency and other job changes. So the fact that they're also tweaking some things in their equipment is interesting.
Okay, I was looking at where these are from. They're from Razad Han. These were the from last expansion. So it's the tone weapons that they put out with the expansion, and so they put out Picto and Viper, and I wonder if this has to do with like job changes and nerfs and things coming, that might be why or something.
Maybe, but that's wild because as you point out, that's Endwalker stuff, not even Dawn Trail stuff. That's not even what you'll be using this upcoming patch in Dawn Trail. That's an entirely expansion ago. The fact that they're adjusting those now, that's just interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of interesting, as a crafter, this is pretty. I'm still not entirely sure I understand it. It says a feature to batch select required materials by quality has been added to the crafting log. It says if you lack the sufficient quantity of required materials, only the amount in your possession will be selected. And it's got a normal quality and a high quality button. So I'm not entirely sure I understand that.
My guess, and we won't know until this happens. I wonder if you click on them as buttons, it auto bunches that.
Possibly.
So say if you've got, in this case, they have bananas. Say it requires 2 bananas and you've got 4 high quality and 20 normal quality. If you just click on the high quality button to batch it, it'll batch those 2 right there. And say if you only had 1, you click it, it would batch the 1. You click normal quality, it batches the other one.
I understand. Okay, yeah, that's actually good. I like that. Okay, I'm a fan of that. Level requirements for master crafting recipes have been removed. That's interesting. Level cap for desynthesis is increased. Mounts can now be summoned while moving. And that's going to be a habit to break. That's going to be interesting. We're getting a new minion that looks like our dog.
Yeah.
So now all 3 of our pets are in the game.
So the next big thing, and I'm not sure what this truly means. It means one of 2 things. And what I'm saying is that 1, they're doing graphical adjustments being made to player character models based on feedback from the community. In conjunction with these adjustments, players can obtain a file of Fantasia from the Wandering Moogle and Gold Granani for a limited period of time. This reward will be tabled until the release of patch 7.3. I don't know if this is yet another free vial of Fantasia, or if you already got it in 7.2, is this that same one? Or is this going to be just another one in addition to that?
I believe it's another one in addition. So, like, the one from 7.2 is now gone away. So, as of 7.3, it will have a vial of Fantasia, and you can... I got the one for 7.2. I believe I will be able to get one for 7.3 as well.
So
now, if you didn't get the one from 7.2, you can only get the one for 7.3.
Right.
But yeah, I believe we will all be getting a free Fantasia again.
I am curious to see how the shadow quality has been, because they're now factoring multiple light sources. That's cool. They have also started doing things with the graphical updates for everything that's not Dawn Trail. They've talked about doing some of these things.
Yeah, these are all the old relic weapons.
Well, not only that, but they're also changing things for like NPCs and faces.
I wonder if it's because we complain about Thancred a little bit.
But they're also improving like the vegetation in areas from at least apparently the 3.0, so Heaven's Ward to Endwalker zones are going to be better. And they're doing these same things.
No changes have been made to Western Highlands, Raktika, Tempest, or Ultimate.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah. Sprint now grants the jog status effect. That's going to be interesting.
And what gets me is that they're not saying, in the patch notes, they're not saying it's only in sanctuaries. That was the indication they were saying during the live letter, was that it was in sanctuaries, or at least that's what we were saying. But this is showing it just as you can just use it wherever, and it just goes away when you generate enmity.
Kind of like PvP, yeah. So I don't know. Well, I feel like if it says it expires when enmity is generated, I feel like that means it can be used anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that this isn't like PvP sprint where you turn it on or off, and if you fight, it's off. But this is doing a thing where you do sprint and you go sprint, and then when sprint's over, you now jog, which is not as fast as sprint, but still faster than walking was. But before they were showing it off in sanctuaries. But the way that this tooltip is reading, it just sounds like you can use it wherever. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. It might still just be under sanctuaries, and we just don't know. Lord knows we were doing our Moogle tombstones, which are over, but it said, beat a boss in Zadnor, and it meant the Bajan Southern Front, even though it clearly says
a typo.
Zadnor.
It was a typo.
So I'm sure it was, but I'm just saying that the fact that they didn't include the sanctuary bit could be, again, a goof. We won't know until the patch hits. So we'll all find out on Tuesday together.
Yep. And then I'm curious about the new actions corresponding to targets marked with different signs have been added to the general tab. Like, I'm very curious about it because it says it's like when multiple targets are marked, using relevant actions will cycle through targets numbered from lowest to highest. Please continue to use macros for targeting specific numbered signs. So I wonder if that means we're getting more signs, and I'm curious to see what this does.
Huh.
Because that is interesting.
Yeah.
New instances for Solution 9, Heritage found, and the areas newly added in patch 7.2.
Well, I wonder if that's specifically referring to things.
Is it referring to like
cosmic exploration and the occult crescent?
That's what I'm wondering. Because I feel like cosmic exploration, I figured would have been similar to the firmament, and Crescent Isle would be, or Occult Crescent would be similar to like Baja and Eureka, where those had instances, but firmament was its own thing. So part of me wonders if we're getting something new for the main scenario, maybe like we did with the patches of Endwalker.
That could be true. Also, don't forget that for cosmic exploration, it's combining firmament and diadem, and diadem had multiple instances, so that also could be that. True. So who knows? But you also could be right. Like there again, it's a case of there's not a lot of specificity in that. It's very vague on purpose. So who knows what we might get?
Yep. I love that they felt like they had to add the guild currency symbol to the retainer menu. Like it's like we didn't know what that was. With the exception of gear, trade items are now displayed in the log window. That's nice, because I know sometimes we're never sure what we give each other. I do like that the party finder, if you have a party in Party Finder, the icon shows next to your name.
Huh.
So that's interesting.
I will admit the last things that really strike out to me is the depth of field adjustments in GPOs.
Yeah, I thought that sounded neat.
They're really letting you play around with that, with whole new values and everything.
And the Fru portrait and adventure plate looks so pretty.
It does, but the biggest thing really is they almost end these patch notes with a screenshot showing off the patch 2.0 logo and some of the stickers they're adding, and it's got a summoner with their book open, and they're showing all these different things, including like a little Shiva summon.
That's as close as you're getting to any of these summons.
And a little Ravana sticker. You could be a summon.
That's as close as you're going to get.
Susano and Odin. And I'm like,
lost me.
They're
really, really taunting you.
Like, we got a little Bismarck there. And I'm just like
the cat on the jellyfish.
Y'all, you don't need to you don't need to do this to me. Don't need to do it. You don't need to do that to me. That's just, you don't. I do hope, unless there is something else that really speaks to you, Anna. Last thing I think I really
Um,
do see is that I
we
really
get new
hope,
backgrounds for the launcher.
yeah, there's that which is nice. For me, it's I really hope the adjustments they're making to the blacklist will help and entirely prevent people from getting tracked and harassed by people they blacklist, which defeat the whole purpose of a blacklist.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Which my blacklist is actually full. And I just realized I can make comments on it. So I may just go through and delete everyone off my blacklist, and then I can make comments on who I blacklisted and why.
Yeah,
But I wish I could do a blanket clean out the list or something.
right.
But I can't. Please fix the friend list. Please.
Yeah.
Yoshi P, I know you listened on it. But yeah. So no, I'm excited for the patch. I'm gonna play 5 tomorrow probably, and just to kill some time. And unfortunately, I won't get to play till I come home from work on Tuesday. But I'm gonna be staying off my phone as much as possible.
Right. It's okay. I'll be doing other stuff too. It's fine. We'll play the patch together. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully.
Yeah, because I gotta get through that story because I gotta do the extreme on Wednesday night with my static.
Oh yeah, and I got to record a whole other podcast. That's not that's Awesome Cast, not Chronicle, but I did it to myself.
Yep. Alrighty. See y'all on 7.
Yeah, see y'all on 7.2. If you're going to Aether, good luck. They're now doing Destination Worlds in a random order to try and make things easier because they do it in a random order. That way, everyone's not clicking on like the first one, and then everyone just
Yeah.
gets congested right there. So that's nice. Anyways, we'll see y'all at 7.2 Seekers of Eternity.
Yes.
Excellent. I remembered things. This has been the Carbuncle Chronicle, your podcast for everything awesome in Final Fantasy XIV. I am Basil. Currently, I believe I'll be editing this episode because I want to get this out lickety split so y'all can be listening to this during the maintenance. So we're right there. You can listen to us yammer about while you're waiting to get in the game, just like we are. Our theme song is based off the Awesome Cast theme by DJ Nobito, but arranged by Anna. You can find our stuff at awesomecast.com/Carbuncle Chronicle or carbuncle.com. Both takes you to the same place where you can find links to the Awesome Cast Patreon, the Awesome Cast Discord, the Awesome Cast TeePublic, which also features t-shirts from both the Awesome Cast and the Carbuncle Chronicle. You can find the Awesome Cast and Carbuncle Chronicles on various social media platforms, either under Carbuncle Chronicle or CarbyCast. If you search for the name, you should be able to find it. You can find my stuff at It's Basil Time. Anna, where can they find your stuff?
Angel Darkfire, pretty much anywhere.
Also, please give us good ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Spotify not only lets you rate, but also now leave comments with your ratings. So that is a really useful tool to help us grow the podcast just in general. If you do and you just don't know what to put in there, just tell us what you're looking forward to patch 7.2. It doesn't have to be about us. It can be about anything. The important thing is you put words to a rating. Anyways, thank you, Anna, for chatting with me. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, never, ever forget, even now in 7.2, you still tank the Bone Dragon up north.